In the last episode of the Southampton Career Mode, we signed a world-class defender in Owen Wijndal. We didn't have the best start to the season by losing in the FA Community Shield, but quickly redeemed ourselves in the Premier League. Our squad returned to full strength after recovering from injuries, and we finished top of our Champions League group. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Flick here. Welcome back to another episode of our FIFA 21 Southampton Career Mode. This is episode number 10 and the final video of this series. The future looks bright for us in the Premier League as well as the Champions League. We currently sit second in the league halfway through the season, and we did manage to finish top of our Champions League group. And after last season's FA Cup win, who knows what we might be able to accomplish in the domestic cups. I was feeling nostalgic going into this recording, so I brought out the same kit that we wore for our FIFA 17 Southampton save 4 years ago. That save didn't exactly end the way that I wanted it to, but I feel like this time it's been different. I couldn't have asked for a better save and a better community for the start of FIFA 21. This press conference will serve as a final thank you for all the continued support you have shown throughout this series. And even though the career mode is coming to an end, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop following the Saints. Who knows what the future might hold, but all I can do is wish you all the best, and I hope good things continue to come your way. As far as future career modes go, I'm going to have a video out later on this week, so stay tuned for that. Essentially, it'll be a 3-season career mode, which will carry us over until next gen launches in December. And once next gen does launch, I plan on doing another longer term career mode, which will hopefully have a similar vibe to this Southampton save. If you want to help out the channel, a like on the video is always appreciated, and subscribing is the best way to get notified when new uploads go live. The squad that we managed to build 5 seasons into this career mode doesn't need a whole lot of improvement, but because we still have transfer funds available, we will make a few additions to this team. I was considering bringing back some former Southampton players like Virgil van Dijk, but because we are on strict negotiation settings, apparently he holds a grudge against the club, so he was unwilling to make this transfer. I think moving forward, I will be turning off strict settings because it has done more harm than good. There's been a few transfers throughout this career mode that we have been unable to make. But I think we've made the best out of the current situation and settled on a player that we considered signing at the beginning of this save. Had he not made the move to PSV, there's a good likelihood we would have signed Sangaré over Nunez. I am happy we signed Nunez because of the overall rating that we've gotten him to, but we'll add some squad depth here with this signing. The transfer was completed for 27.5 million, signing to a sporadic squad role on a 3-year deal worth 40 grand a week. This may be the first transfer window where we did not have any players departing the club. However, we will still set up 3 new youth scouting networks, one in Ukraine, one in Slovenia, and one in England, where it all started for us as far as youth scouting goes. Essentially, this will be the end game squad for us as we try to win as many competitions as possible in this 5th and final season. But without further ado, let's get into the gameplay. I'll catch up with y'all once that's done as we recap the save. Our first knockout stage match of the Champions League will be against Ajax, who may have lost some of their high potential players, but still have a respectable squad, especially 5 seasons into career mode. However, judging for the first leg, it seems that we will be the favored side as Adams netted a brace to lead us to a 2-0 victory. But as we saw from the Champions League a few seasons ago, Ajax are capable of surprising teams, so we can't underestimate them, as they will get the first attack of the match, but we'll dispossess them in the midfield. Edouard spotting out the through ball to Adams, and what a pass it was. Unfortunately, Onana is one of the highest rated goalkeepers in this save, and he makes a big save to start this match. This fixture seemed to be a battle of defenses early on, as a mistake from McKennie leads to an Ajax attack, but now it's Henderson who makes a big save for us to keep the match 0-0. One thing I quickly noticed about this Ajax squad is that they were lacking pace in the midfield, and as a result, it'll be Nunez to push the ball forward, trying to score a very rare goal, because he is the more defensive-minded midfielder between him and Ward-Prowse. Unfortunately, that effort goes off the post, and we'll push on. Very similar to the first chance we had, except this time it will result in a goal, as we will get the first goal of the match, giving us a 3-0 lead on aggregate. That is a hat trick for Adams across both legs. As we transition to the second half, we'll look to keep increasing that scoreline, and Obafemi will get a chance to do so. He was brought on for Edouard, had a lot of time to think about where he wants to shoot this one, but you guys know from the last couple of episodes, I do horrible in those sort of situations, and Onana makes another save. Luckily, though, we've got James Ward-Prowse. He is fully back from his injury and back to scoring goals for us, as this match is pretty much done and dusted at this point, 4-0 on aggregate. Our wide players are usually more involved in these sort of matches, and Stang's looking to get on the score sheet. Unfortunately, though, he was put under pressure, and that chance will go wide. But Obafemi plays this pass to Ings, our striker that played a huge role in this Southampton career mode early on, and even still as a substitute will net the 3rd and final goal of the match. And we're pulling out a couple of new celebrations here as we walk out of St. Mary's, and we'll be advancing to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Lyon will be our opponents for the quarterfinal, and their squad looks significantly better this season than they did last year. If you can recall, they were in our Champions League group but finished third because we also had Barcelona in our group. The away leg did end in our favor as we won that match 3-2. However, the aggregate scoreline isn't as big as I would have hoped, as Osimhen netted a 90th minute second goal for Lyon. Considering how many goals were scored in the previous leg, this fixture was definitely destined to be a high scoring one, as Ward-Prowse scores the best chip that he scored in this career mode, saw the keeper off his line, and once again, I think that was the right decision. Sometimes you need to trust your gut, and Ward-Prowse has the technical ability to pull off that sort of effort. Lyon will look to respond right back though, as in the 15th minute, Esposito will receive the pass from Lucas Paqueta, and he'll finish that effort well. He was under pressure by Wijndal, but unfortunately, he still got a lot of power behind that shot, too much for Henderson to put a stop to. You may hear Lucas Paqueta's name a few times in the commentary, as he was the high impact player for Lyon, dispossessing Ward-Prowse there and scoring an incredible finesse shot effort, putting the match level on aggregate. We still do have the advantage due to away goals, but Lyon were clearly here to play. They had a good tactics. They had high pressure tactics, and clearly they knew what they wanted to do in this match. As we get toward the later stages of this match, my thought process was to turn on team press and try to score another goal, even if Lyon get another goal like they do here. As long as we make the match 3-2 or 5-5 on aggregate, then we will advance to extra time. This is another good bit of play from Paqueta, and we haven't seen that too often where our defenders completely mistime their tackle. Considering it's now or never, we will make an attacking-minded change, bringing on our reliable striker, Danny Ings, and hoping that the proven partnership between him and Adams will make the difference in this match. As Ward-Prowse plays through Ings, this was an emotional moment. We're 5-5 on aggregate. As long as things stand, we will go into extra time here in the quarterfinal of the Champions League. You can't teach experience, and that's exactly what Ings offers us. We'll experience some nervy moments here in the 85th minute as the shot is blocked by Salisu, and I thought this would be called for a penalty kick. Apparently no foul given, as the relentless attack from Lyon ended up being too much for us. The ball falls perfectly to one of their players, and that is a big goal for Lyon, as that puts them ahead on away goals. The odds are obviously against us now, but if we do want to advance to the next round, we'll need to score 2 goals in roughly 6 minutes. One thing that has resonated with me with this Southampton career mode and the club philosophy is that we never give up. We'll continue pushing forward and trying to score goals, even if we may not be advancing to the next round, as pretty much things were just not working out for us. We'll try to play the ball across. It's cleared away once more by Lyon, and the ref will call for full time. I was gutted to lose this one, guys. I really felt like this was the season for us to win the Champions League, and considering this is the last season of the career mode, we won't get another opportunity. But you have to give credit to Lyon. They were the better team on the day, and although I genuinely believe this Southampton squad is capable of beating anyone, Lyon deserved the victory. We can't let that loss affect us, though, as we have another major competition that we're involved in, the Premier League, which we have not yet won. And on the second to final match day, this is a huge opportunity for us to play against Manchester City and move up in the Premier League table. We've got experience playing against City in the FA Cup final, and to be fair, they've lost a couple of significant players from their starting 11. I know we can do this. The result of this fixture is going to boil down to our mentality. The quality in the side is obviously there, but we can't let ourselves be our own worst enemy, as Gineppo will get things going early on. Some promising build-up play, although it won't end in a goal, as Manchester City now will get a chance of their own in the 14th minute. It's Sterling getting by a few of our defenders. However, it is a good save on the near post by Henderson. A bit lucky to have that go out of play. But with this match still level, we need to be more direct with our play. Ward-Prowse spotting out all the space for Gineppo in what has been a very consistent and reliable goal-scoring position for us from time to time. A simple finish there. We usually go with power, but this time we'll go with placement as we get the early 1-0 lead. Dragging these City defenders out of position seems to be the way to go, as we get a bit lucky to hang on to possession there, but Adams creates the space for Ward-Prowse, who does go with power to net our second goal of the match. And now that we've got 2, it should be fairly easy going for us, as the City defenders are now pushing up. It's going to be another one-on-one chance. This time, Adams places it to the far post. Ederson did not have the best day. He was a bit unlucky for this one to basically fall right under his arms. It closed down the space well, but Adams is too clinical. To be fair to City, though, they have shown that they can come back into matches, even being down a few goals. And here, it's going to be competitor mode really factoring in as a couple of good skill moves created space. Fabian with the far post effort to bring the deficit down to 2 goals for them. So a little bit more manageable for the second half. You can take a look at some of the possession statistics, and although City were hanging on to more of the ball, we were by and far the more clinical side. Edouard gets our 4th goal, bringing that advantage back up to 3 goals as we'll try to make it a 5th. Ings was brought on as a substitute, plenty of space for him. A heavy touch, which I thought was going to result in a missed chance, but we get very lucky for us to draw a penalty right there. And it will be none other than James Ward-Prowse trying to get his brace as our captain steps up to this spot. No doubt about it, he'll put it to the left. Ederson stays in the middle, and that will give us another goal. Regardless of the result on our final match day, if we are up by enough goals, I think we can put ourselves in a very promising position to win our first Premier League title of the career mode. But a couple of late chances here for City. We're basically being denied time and time again by Henderson. Even after a poor display by him, in all honesty, for the Champions League, he stepped up in this match, and I am glad that we still managed to make that signing a couple of seasons ago, as he has been the difference maker and has secured a lot of clean sheets for us. But this was an incredible outing from the squad. We knew what we had to do going in, securing the victory, and even going to a further extent by winning by a big margin. So here is how things stand going into the final Premier League match day. We have a 3-point advantage at the top, and we are 5 goals ahead on goal differential. Everton will be our final opponent of the career mode. They're not sitting in the top 8, so this is definitely a side that we can win against, but we can't take them lightly. You'll notice that a lot of their high potential players like Pickford are no longer in the squad. They've transferred elsewhere, but they have brought in some good players from Ligue 1, like Rene Adelaide. Gineppo scored our first goal of the match in the previous fixture, and he will get involved early again here. Unfortunately, this effort will be called back for offside. It was a close call. However, I think that was the right decision as Everton gets something going. It's Tete fooling our defenders, but it will be another good save on Henderson's near post. He really has been in form the last 2 or so matches, and I respect that from a goalkeeper as we try to get something going on the counter-attack. It's Ward-Prowse pretty much doing things himself. Eventually found the space for Edouard. It's going to be an easy finesse shot, and we will open up the scoring in the 26th minute. But as we've seen from this episode, 1 goal is not enough. Our opponents can get right back into the match in the blink of an eye as Adams gets a good opportunity here, squaring it across to Stengs. Would have expected that to find the back of the net, in all honesty. And here we go with the momentum changing. We're in the second half now. Rene Adelaide, the player that we talked about earlier, will get the 2nd goal of the match. Everton equalize, and it will be an interesting end to the season. We don't know how Manchester City are doing as of right now and whether we are top of the table. So in order to take some of that pressure off of us, we will try our best to win this match. Adams uses his pace, gets by the Everton defenders. It falls perfectly to Edouard, and I don't know how this effort went wide. He's known to be clinical in these sort of positions. But with 18 minutes left to play in this one, I feel like this sums up the career mode perfectly. Ward-Prowse goes on one of those attacking runs of his from the midfield, and he will get the go-ahead goal for us, making it 2-1. And definitely helping our chances of winning the Premier League title here. But to make things even better, some of our other original Southampton players will get involved. Ings to Adams, Adams with the chip through ball, and on the half volley, it's Ings to score what will be the final goal in this career mode, and what a goal it was. It's been a wild ride with Southampton over the last 5 seasons, but I'm glad y'all were able to be part of this journey. As we close in on the final minutes of the match, ref calls for full time, and we finally will be lifting the Premier League title. After a few consecutive seasons of being the runner-ups in the league, finishing 2nd, it made the title a little bit more sweet for us. And as I'm recording this episode now, Southampton are top of the Premier League table for the first time in the club's history. It's been amazing what they've been able to accomplish so early in the Premier League season, and I'm glad we were able to replicate some of that good form in this career mode save. This has without question been one of the most dramatic endings to a season that I've experienced in a YouTube save, but I'm glad that we managed to finally win the Premier League title in our 5th season. The fact that we also played against Manchester City in the second to last match day really was one of the key difference makers as it put us top of the table where we remained. But anyways, looking through the rest of the teams in the top 6, Arsenal and Liverpool rounded out the top 4. Spurs and Chelsea both qualified for Europa League. As we look at the bottom half of the table, it was Burnley, Watford, and Sheffield United who were relegated. Unfortunately, it seems like a lot of the championship sides that gained promotion get sent down right away. For the 4th consecutive season, Adams is the club's top scorer, 35 goals across 48 matches. Ward-Prowse had a great return into the squad this year as he finished 2nd for top scorer, 17 goals from 41 matches. And as Edouard became increasingly important to us, managing to secure a starting 11 spot, he finished in 3rd for top goals, 14 goals from 44 matches. Couple of new faces here for the top assists. Nandez led the way with 15 assists from 54 matches, Adams in 2nd with 13 assists from 48 matches, and Stengs in 3rd with 11 assists from 51 matches. A good portion of the goals Adams scored this season did come from the Premier League. He was by and far the Golden Boot winner, in 1st place with 26 goals from 34 matches. Nandez was joint top for assists alongside De Bruyne and Havertz, finishing with 11 assists from 38 matches. And for the 2nd consecutive season, Henderson did have the most clean sheets in the league, 22 clean sheets from 38 matches. Recapping some of the competitions this season, we did have a 6-round exit in the FA Cup, losing to Everton 2-0. Liverpool won that competition. The Carabao Cup wasn't our best competition for this career mode. We got far a couple of times, but never managed to secure that victory. However, this time around, we were defeated fairly early on, exiting in the 3rd round to Sheffield United 2-1. Spurs were the eventual winner of this competition. And this was the first match that we played this season. We lost to Chelsea 3-0 in the FA Community Shield. I'll admit I was surprised to exit as early as we did in the Champions League, especially after last season's final. However, Lyon defeated us in the quarterfinal and went on to win the entire competition. Juventus won the Europa League 2-1 in the final over Hertha Berlin. Over the course of the season, I've kept our best findings from scouting in the youth academy, and we will be promoting these final 4 players into the squad. Raul Esteves, I believe, is a player from last season. Regardless, though, he is now a 68 overall center back from Portugal and looks to have a good amount of potential. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see him at that peak potential. Arthur Bull seems to be challenging for that 3rd goalkeeper spot over Freddie Franklin, a 67 overall goalkeeper from England, 87 to 94 potential. Matthias Franco is a 63 overall center attacking mid from Slovenia, 78 to 92 potential. Finally, we have Christophe Grandjean, a 63 overall center attacking mid from France, 91 to 94 potential, 4-star as well. This is our final look at the squad. You can pause the video and take a deep dive into the stats and ratings if you'd like, but I think 5 seasons was perfect for this Southampton career mode. Some of our key players are just now starting to decline in their ratings, like Ings, and essentially, this is a very young Southampton team to start off with. We were able to witness them at the peak potential, and I think that's a good reason why this career mode went as well as it did. Board objectives weren't a huge focus for us this season. I was mainly concerned with our performance in the Premier League and Champions League. I am glad that we were able to bring a Premier League title home to Southampton. I want to give a shout out to all channel members. If you are interested in joining the membership program here on the channel, there is a link in the description outlining all the benefits. Here are the final ratings for our Southampton squad. And for the final time in this career mode, we will be signing off. Hope you all have enjoyed today's video and the series finale, as well as this Southampton series. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. But until next time, this has been Flick. I'll be talking to you all again soon.